Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be reviewing Zombie Blast Crew for the Nintendo Switch. Now, Zombie Blast Crew released for the Nintendo Switch on November 13th of 2020 for a price of $9.99. It had released, however, last year for other platforms such as iOS and Android around November of 2019. Also, just in case any of you are worried, there are no in-game purchases for Zombie Blast Crew on the Nintendo Switch. Now, as we go through this review, don't forget that if you like what you're seeing and you want to see more, please leave a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. So the basic gameplay in Zombie Blast Crew is very simple. It's a top-down, third-person action shooter. Now, it's done in a multi-stage format, with some of the stages being very quick and some being of mid-length. Also, all the missions are divided into one of 4 main objectives. Either to control a resource point for a certain period of time, moving on then to further resource points on the map, or then again to kill a certain number of enemies within a timed window. Now the last 2 objective types are either to survive a certain period of time on the map with continuous waves of enemies hit you, and the last one you'll come around is to kill a certain number of elite enemies. Elite enemies are sort of like mini bosses. However, generally they're just larger versions of the same enemies you run out throughout the game with a little bit more HP. So gameplay wise, the mechanics in the game are pretty simple. However, what really brings it all together and adds a really nice level of flavor is the upgrade system that they've integrated into the game. So as you go through the stages, you earn stars for accomplishing certain additional objectives in the game. You can also find unlockable chests. And all this leads you to basically eventually unlocking new characters to the game as a first step of evolution. And don't get me wrong, this is not only visual upgrades to characters. Each character in Zombie Blast Crew plays out very different from the other. First of all, they don't have the same main weapon. They go from machine guns to all the way to flamethrowers to even rocket launchers. Also, each character will have a varying size of HP pool and also even a different run speed, meaning that the tactics you're going to have to employ really have to match the playstyle of the character you chose. And if that isn't enough, you also have to select 3 special abilities which you can choose to map to Y, X, and A individually. And these vary from a grenade to a jack-in-the-box that attracts your enemies, even an automated turret, and finally a stim pack and a health box. Now, what ties this all together is that basically to upgrade these abilities, you have to, number 1, get gold from the stages to buy the upgrade, but you also have to be lucky enough to unlock the proper upgrade cards for the different abilities. And depending on the level of the ability, it'll need more and more cards to graduate from one level to the next. And just lastly, getting back to those stars, the more stars you earn, the more upgrade packs you earn. At the bottom left of the screen, you should see an upgrade section based on stars, and at every certain number of stars, you get access to an extra large upgrade pack, which will basically have tons and tons of cards in them, allowing you to upgrade much quicker. So if you focus on the early stages on basically getting as many stars as possible when the stages are easier, it'll make your progression through the game all that much better. Now, if that sounds like quite a bit of mechanics for a $10 game, in my opinion, it is, and it was way more than I was expecting. So that brings us to the good points of Zombie Blast Crew. So one of the best points I find of Zombie Blast Crew is it's a perfect marriage of simple, straightforward objectives and gameplay, but reinforced with those additional upgrade systems that really just fill out the game and make it addictive and keep you coming back for more and more. I mean, I've seen $30 games with not such a robust upgrade system integrated to the game itself, and Zombie Blast Crew is offering you all that at a budget price of a $10 game. Another great point, and we touched about it a bit, is that although there are many unlockable characters, what I really appreciated about Zombie Blast Crew is that they weren't only visual upgrades. Often in these games you just get different skins, but in this case each character plays out very differently, and it allows for a variety of gameplay styles. If you're a run and gun type person, you have your characters. If you're a tanky, throw yourself into the mix, you have a different set of characters that will support those type of skills. And it's really appreciated from such a basic game to support such a variety of gameplay styles. Now, let's talk about a few of the things that actually Zombie Blast Crew could maybe do a little better. Number one, unfortunately the environments aren't very varying. Basically what they do is that they reuse the same assets from stage to stage, so the stages don't look very different. At the beginning you have a few zones that are more forest-like, and towards the end of the game you're really in the inner city. However, there's only those two variety of zones overall the whole game. Then all they do is they play tricks with either having a rain effect, a snow effect, a dark effect, a daytime effect. However, it's the same stages over and over, just with slightly different layouts. And with such a huge number of stages, like I'm up to stage 85 and I'm still going through the game, I still haven't seen where the stages cut off. Well, basically, at one point it does start getting a little repetitive, and it would be fun to maybe have something to break it up, like a one or two different map assets. Also, objective-wise, I would like to see one or two more variations on the objectives, just because with only 4 different objectives, and so far, like I said, over 85 stages, once again, there is quite a bit of repetition eventually. But then again, for a $10 game, I've got to say that I consider these gripes minor, considering the overall package that this game is offering you. So now, that brings us to our verdict. Now, if this is the first review you see of mine, just to let you know, I don't use numerical scores. I give you a general statement which explains my position on the game. If you want to see what all those statements are, they're in the description of the video down below, so go take a look. Now, in my opinion, Zombie Blast Crew is a definite pickup. Basically, this game, for the price it's offering, has a lot to offer. And as long as you're into any kind of action game, well, it'll be interesting to you most likely. However, at the same time, I don't think this will become your main game. It's sort of a game that you'll pick up, you'll play a 30-minute, 45-minute session, move on to something else, but you'll just keep coming back and back to it just to work on those upgrades over time. But nonetheless, as I said, the package is so complete at the price they're offering it that I would really consider this a definite pickup for anyone who likes any type of action game. So now don't forget, as I mentioned earlier, if you like these videos and you want to see more, please hit that like button. It really does help out a lot. Also, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to make sure that you're aware every time I put out a video. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.